Today on Twin J Racing, we are going to do something different. No, not that. That's been an epic failure today, so we're going to do something different. My precious. Well, we've already started. We're working on getting the motor plate put on it. We had to pull the balancer up. I didn't pull it all the way off. We just pulled it up. But follow along. We're going to start prepping this to go boom in there. If it were only that easy. Well, boys and girls, she's home. Finally home. So we're going to get this unloaded, get it put in the shop so we can get it put in the car. But the motor is home and it'll be going in its home here hopefully tomorrow, next day, next week. I don't know, near future. But it's here in Michigan City finally. Wow, that battery's dead. Now let's see if we can get this unloaded before that happens. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to hear me, but put it in the garage, and I'm going to go do that before that battery dies in that camera, hopefully. Welcome back to Twin J Racing, everyone. We're going to work on getting the motor in my car. We've started a little bit. I've actually started a GoPro, but we're going to go ahead and do the introduction here. We're getting my motor, which, JCE's took care of us, got it done. And I've actually heard it run. It sounds really good, but I want to hear it in the car. But we got to get this prepped. Got to get the motor plate on, which is what I'm working on now. And then we're going to work on getting everything else done to hopefully get it put in the car here in the very near future. No, the mid plate's not mounted and it's going to come out. But that's neither here nor there right now. But we're going to work on getting this done and getting it ready because we got literally 2 weeks to get this thing ready to race. Because the end of April, the last weekend before racing, I actually have other plans. So this car needs to be running in 2 weeks. Along with the motorhome ready. And God only knows what else. So we're going to plug away at getting this motor done. Like I said, motor plates first. Getting that motor plate on first because we had to go buy some more and different hardware because we're changing some stuff out. And I couldn't find one bolt. Go figure, right? Take it apart last July and now I can't find bolts. Wonder how that happened. Anyways, follow along. And please like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me I'm off my rocker, which I probably am, but let me know, guys. And we're going to plug away at this, so follow along. Gotta get this balancer off, get these bolts off, put the motor plate on the front of this. So that's what we're going to work on first today here, getting all of this done. So we're going to start working on this and get this balancer out, get it pulled, and get it ready to put the motor plate behind it. And no, this was not torqued because we knew we had to do this. As you can tell, it definitely was not torqued. Because that's supposed to be like 1.21 gigawatts or something of tightness. So, I have the Mac Tools balancer installer kit, which I use quite regularly. So, that's what we're going to use. Uh-oh. Anyways, we're going to get this put on here. And then that'll pull it right off without a problem, theoretically, but probably not. This ATI balancer is a pain in the butt to pull. Inch and a 1/16. And then you just, well, I'm going to have to go find whatever size that is because that can't turn. That's, I think, 5/8 or something. We'll turn that one back in. All right, I don't know if I'm going to pull this all the way off or not, because we got to put it right back on. Oh, that is not doing me any favors. There we go. Got plenty of room. Should be able to get that bolt tightened. Now, Jim and his silicone. But we're getting this all cleared off here to put the motor plate in. Sucks that that's what we got to do, but yeah, that's what we got to do. But even at that, this is all going to be different. The hardware that goes in the bottom two holes is tapered Allens, taper lock Allens. And then the uppers are Allens for the adapters, which is something I said I would talk about when we got to that step because, well, I had planned on building this motor a year ago. And, you know, we all know how that didn't go. So now here we are. A year later, I'm working on this stuff, putting it back together. Well, not quite a year. We heard it. We didn't blow it up, thankfully, but we heard it in July or end of June, early July. We were getting ready for the Oldsmobile race. And we took it and we were going to rush it back together, and then that turned into just a whole fiasco of stuff, and then we changed a bunch of stuff to make it better, or at least that's the thinking. And now the motor came home yesterday, which was April 11th, and now we got to get it prepped and put back in the car, and that's what we're heading towards right now. Jim hooked me up, JCE Fuel Systems, for people who don't know who Jim is. Jim hooked me up with a brand new timing cover. Brand new. He didn't like my two-piece, and I mean, I've never used it. It's a great piece. Dave Meyer made that for me years ago. I've run it for years, never had a problem. So I found I had a problem when I put the oil slinger in it. The oil slinger hits the strapping that lets you make it a two-piece. I've only changed the cam timing once and checked it twice in all the years I've had that two-piece timing cover. So we decided to go with the one-piece, and Jim hooked it up for me. Brand new one. Bolted the 2 holes down here, cut the top so it's nice and flat, and we put it on here. So now that's what we're going to run. Hi. Motor plates. Motor plate. Which this was the whole thing last year, getting this on the motor so I could run the vacuum pump. We had to put a longer dowel rod. Over here. Way longer, because the factory one you can't see, but you got to run the longer one over here so you can put your timing pointer in. And that all goes together. I don't know. Okay. I'm not 100% happy with that. Yeah, it's not long enough. I didn't think it would be. Probably be long enough. That one ain't going to work anyways. So, we're going to get some stuff figured out here. And we'll be back with you here in a few minutes. And then we'll talk about installing the balancer. Well, we got to finish this job first. Got the motor plate on. You saw we put all the bolts through, silicone the gaskets on. They're custom gaskets that I cut myself. I match them off the Mazier water pump gasket. And these are adapters. I can run a small block Chevy water pump on my Olds. I run the electric one, obviously, but that's what these adapters are for. They go to the Olds pattern, but they work with a small block Chevy. I actually have, what you saw in the short, if you haven't seen that one, go watch it, that I got my Oldsmobile one back, and it's all new and ready to go, so it's now my spare if I need it. But we're making progress. We pulled this off, we put it back on, and we got to put the bolt and torque it to 1.21 gigawatts. I think it's 180 foot-pounds or something crazy, but that is the bolt for this puppy. So, and I bought a special hex drive bolt, but now I don't get to use it because the mandrel's in the way. Anyways, that's life, right? I gotta go get the paste and put this together the right way. But we are making progress on hopefully getting this set in the car. Once I get all of this done, I gotta clean a couple more things out of the way in the car, pick it up, take it off the engine cradle. There we go, engine cradle. And get it shoved, get the motor mounts put on it that go over here, get the diaper put on it, and then put it in the hole. that's kind of where we're headed with this, since that was an epic failure today. We're going to keep working on getting this done because, well, this needs to go in there anyways. And, you know, we put the vacuum pump fitting there, and then this is for my vacuum gauge, and put my nice Moroso valve covers on here. You know, got your JCE sticker. Got to have those. Adds told by Jim himself, it adds 25 horsepower with that sticker. We'll find out. 50, maybe he's underestimating it. You got to get yourself some of them stickers. Or maybe I'm overselling it. I don't know. Just in case anyone is interested, you saw me torque the front of that, but what I did to hold it in place, I put my screwdriver down here against this thing and held it in place while I torqued that on the front there. So just if anybody was curious, probably not, but that's what I did. Now we need to move on to getting this thing ready to drop in, maybe. Now another thing real quick that a lot of people don't talk about, but I'm meticulous. You always back your torque wrench off when you're done. You never leave it set on what you did last, because you stretch the spring. I'm trying to do this one-handed because I'm holding my camera. But you stretch the spring in it, and then your torque readings are wrong. Yeah, that's not working out well for me. Let's set you guys down up here. There we go. Well, make sure and back it off when you're done. You felt the head drop. Now there's no tension on that spring. I'm going to set this over here because I'm probably going to use it kind of like the parts table over here. Some bolts. These have got to go on next. I have to go get the diaper, which is sitting back there. You know, get everything ready to go back together. That's the plan anyways. We'll see how it works out though. Double check the bolts on the front, make sure everything's still tight, and then we'll work on getting this up in the diaper and then in the hole. That's the plan. But back to KG Element. We got the diaper on, we got the starter on, got the motor mounts on. That one looks bent. We're gonna have to bend that straight. Let's see here. That motor mount is on. Pretty much ready to go. Get this puppy put back in there. It'll work, maybe. Just get the motor in on the mounts tonight. That's kind of my goal. But we're gonna take a couple minutes and adjust that motor mount, and then we're gonna work on getting this motor set in. Oh yes, the big hammer. Big hammer. Paging, Mr. Big Hammer. There we are. This actually isn't a big hammer. This is just a big-ish hammer. That looks pretty good. I mean, it won't matter, we'll put a bolt in it and tighten it down, but that's close. All right, jack. Mr. Meoff! Hey, Jack! If I was smart, I would jack this up so I had more room underneath of it, but we're gonna make it work. First things first, we're going to tie the header up. I swear this thing goes taller. Oh, there we go. First things first, we're gonna tie that header up and out of the way. So that way, it's out of the way for the motor to go in. And then, we will go from there. So usually I tie them both up, but I don't think that's necessary. If I get one, it's usually pretty good. Not sure where the GoPro died the other night because it's 2 days later now. I worked on it Sunday night and it's now Tuesday, I think. But we got this in here. Looky there. Got this dropped in the car. Got the headers on it, which that's a war in itself, especially that two-piece header right there because that wraps around the frame rail. These are a set of Hooker Super Comps. They don't make anymore. But we got the headers on, dipstick in, and we got to fix a spark plug issue because Jim did a great job running the spark plug wires. And I'm like, man, I wonder why I don't do that. Oh yeah, the header said, I might put the picture in here. Of the wires, they literally would run right underneath there, and that ain't gonna work. So we're plugging away at this. We're going to jack it up now. I even threw the alternator down in there, but we're going to get this thing jacked up. We're going to get bell housing bolts in, torque converter bolts in, wire the starter up, and get a few more things done to get this thing closer to running. That's what we're working on. We literally have T-minus 2 weeks. So we need to be on track with this. Well, 2 weeks from Friday. So today's Tuesday. But not this upcoming weekend. The following weekend, the weekend after Easter, I'm going to be out of town all weekend. So, yeah, that kind of cuts it into 1 week. Need this car running and driving. And, yeah, it currently looks like this. Yay. So, we got a lot of things to accomplish. Anyways, we're going to plug away at this. Still got to get all of this done too and fix my, where I dropped the bar trying to, broke my mount for my, way too much to do. So little time and way too much to do. So I better get at it and quit talking to you guys and girls and grandmas and whatever. So we're going to get after it. We're going to put you on your favorite time lapse and I'm going to go to work. Maybe. Or maybe I'll think about it. Now I'll try to drop the phone. almost too pretty to just cover up. Jim got in there and did some more work on it. Like I said, almost too pretty to cover up, but it's not. Because that's where the carburetor's got to go. The carbidation device. So, back to my music. You guys go back to your time lapse. We're making progress on this beast. Motor mount bolts are in, torque converter bolts are in, bell housing bolts are in. Well, I got to tighten the top two, but bell housing bolts are in. Vacuum pumps on, alternators on, water pump is on, water pump hose. We ran the new lines for the gauges. We got to sort some stuff out back there to make it a little nicer. I got to work on the adapter for that. It didn't quite fit. I got to get a new fitting for that. There's just a lot of little things to work out when you're putting new stuff back together, and then we got to rework that, but we talked about that already. So it's a lot of little things going on. We're making progress. We're not starting it till probably Friday. That's my estimate. We'll turn over with the key. I did do that already. So I was hoping to get the carburetor on it, but we didn't. But we did get the water pump on. That was the big thing. I needed to silicone the water pump on, so it is on. And I mean, it's looking like something. I'm not sure what, but it's looking like something. Anyways, we're going to keep trucking away at this. And we'll catch you guys in a couple of days when I get to work on it again, because you know that damn thing called work gets in the way. I think we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Actually, I know we're going to end the video here. The motor is pretty much put together here. We got the lines ran. I finished that inside off camera. We've already started this motor. And I don't know if it's Fun Day Friday or a short or both. There's videos of this motor running in this car. But we're going to go ahead and cut the video there, and we'll get the rest of the stuff because there's a few things that happen. And we're going to work towards, we got a bunch of other little things to do to get this thing ready. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a second video out, like the continuation of this, because we ran into a few small problems as I rub my nose like normal. But we are getting there. And please comment down there. Comment. Please like. There's a like down there somewhere. Share. Sub if you haven't subbed for more content like this and all the other stuff on this channel. And even some roller coaster amusement park stuff that we do. And then there's that thing that is almost done. I mean, it would be done tonight, but yeah, it hates me. But that's a different video. So watch for those too. And like I said, thank you guys for watching this far. We're getting this beast ready. We will be at the track with it. I think it's, well, the first is a Thursday, second. So the 3rd and 4th of May. We will be at the track with this beast. Weather permitting, of course. But that's the plan. You know, we got a long way to go. And a short time to get there. Please tell me you get that joke. But we will catch you guys in the next one.